And here is the Writer's Almanac for Tuesday, the 19th of April, 2022. It's the birthday of the Trinidadian-Canadian writer Neil Bussendath, born in Arima, Trinidad in 1955, the nephew of V.S. Naipaul, author of The Unyielding Clamor of the Night and the novel The Soul of All Great Designs. It's the birthday of the children's author and illustrator John Agee, born in Nyack, New York, 1960, author of the incredible painting of Felix Clouseau, Flapstick, 10 Ridiculous Rhymes with Flaps, and a book of palindromes, the title itself a palindrome, a phrase that reads the same forwards or backwards, the title, Go Hang a Salami, I'm a Lasagna Hog. And it was on this day in 1943 that an uprising began in the Warsaw Ghetto, where about 300,000 Jews lived along with other Jewish refugees from smaller towns. The Nazis had built a wall around that section of the city. Conditions were horrible. There were fuel shortages. People died of pneumonia or influenza. A resistance movement began to organize. The Nazis began to deport Jews from the ghetto, and reports of mass murder started to come back to the ghetto. And on this day, April the 19th, 1943, the first day of Passover, hundreds of German soldiers entered the ghetto in rows of tanks, planning to destroy it in 3 days. But resistance fighters fought back and held on for almost a month. It was on this day, 1944, in Amsterdam, Anne Frank wrote in her diary, Is there anything more beautiful in the world than to sit before an open window and enjoy nature, to listen to the birds singing, feel the sun on your cheeks, and have a darling boy in your arms? 3 months later, the family was discovered in the secret annex and arrested and sent off to concentration camps. And it was on this day in 1897 the Boston Marathon was run for the first time. It's the world's oldest annual marathon. Women were not allowed to run until 1972, but in 1967, Catherine Switzer registered anyway. She was assigned a number. She started the race. When an official saw her, he chased her. He tried to rip off her number. A fellow runner pushed him out of the way, and Catherine Switzer crossed the finish line. It's the birthday of the poet Etheridge Knight, born in Corinth, Mississippi, 1931. Arrested for robbery, sent to the Indiana State Prison in 1960, and it was there, he said, that he started writing poetry. And it was on this day, 1927, actress Mae West was jailed for her performance in a Broadway play entitled Sex. She served 10 days in prison, and it made her reputation forever.
Here's a poem for today by James Silas Rogers, Troubling Myself with Things Too Great for Me. For instance, the physics of red wine, which Galileo called sunlight held together by water, sounds plausible, but how? Or backing up a step with the physics of beauty itself, such as radiates in these freshly washed Delaware grapes, with the possible exception of a woman's breast, a tumbling cluster of grapes, or the globe of one full fruit, might be as nearly perfect a form as we will see in this life. Look at this shoulder of table grapes in the evening sun. Know that the old prig, St. Augustine, a too stern and oh so rational man, was right on this. It was love that called the world into being. A poem by James Silas Rogers, Troubling Myself with Things Too Great for Me, from The Collector of Shadows, published by Bright Horse Books and used by permission here on the Writer's Almanac.